This is Plant-Based Briefing. The tofu era is upon us, how this ancient protein is redefining clean eating, by the VegNews Editors at VegNews.com. And I'm Marian Erickson, your host. This is the Plant-Based Podcast, where I curate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living, get permission, and narrate them to you here in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. There are so many reasons to live a plant-based and vegan lifestyle that it's hard to stay up on all of them, so I try to give you a sprinkling of the various benefits and issues and current news going on and share it with you here. Think of it as your daily dose of inspiration to stay the course with this healthy, compassionate, and sustainable lifestyle. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. The tofu era is upon us, how this ancient protein is redefining clean eating, by the VegNews Editors at VegNews.com. As consumers push back on ultra-processed foods, tofu is making a comeback as the go-to clean protein, especially for GLP-1 users and wellness-minded eaters. The clean eating movement is having a reckoning. After years of plant-based innovation with ingredient labels as long as a CVS receipt, a familiar block of soy is making its quiet, triumphant return. Tofu, often overshadowed by trendier alternatives, is once again a kitchen staple, not because it's new, but because it's cheap, clean, and more versatile than its processed counterparts. With mounting concern over ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, consumers are reevaluating what healthy actually looks like on the plate. Tofu, with its short ingredient list and centuries-old heritage, is emerging as a symbol of the real food renaissance. According to recent data, the global tofu market hit $3 billion in 2024 and is projected to climb to $4.4 billion by 2033. That demand is not driven by novelty, but by trust. Ultra-processed foods now make up more than half of the average American's diet. Their links to obesity, cancer, and metabolic disorders are prompting both public health experts and everyday shoppers to take stock. In contrast, tofu, made from soybeans, water, and a coagulant, offers a simplicity that stands in stark opposition to ingredient lists full of methicellulose and carrageenan. Studies have linked tofu's nutritional profile, rich in complete protein, calcium, iron, and magnesium, to improved heart health and reduced risk of chronic diseases. And it's not just about what tofu contains, but what it doesn't. No cholesterol, low saturated fat, and none of the synthetic additives found in so many modern meat alternatives. Clean protein, low calorie. Tofu's simplicity is particularly appealing to a new class of consumers, users of GLP-1 weight loss medication. Medications like Ozempic and Wegovy have reshaped weight loss culture, but they come with nutritional challenges. As appetite is suppressed, every bite counts more, especially when it comes to preserving lean muscle and bone density. Medical professionals have raised concerns that these medications may accelerate nutrient deficiencies, including protein and calcium. Tofu's low-calorie, high-protein, calcium-rich profile makes it an ideal fit for GLP-1 dietary regimens, and it's showing up in dietitian-approved meal plans across the country. A 2021 Oxford University study found that a plant-forward diet is healthier and considerably cheaper than a conventional diet. We think the fact that vegan, vegetarian, and flexitarian diets can save you a lot of money is going to surprise people, Marco Springman, Ph.D., researcher on the Oxford Martin Program on the Future of Food, said at the time. And the interest in protein shows no signs of slowing. A 2024 survey reported that 71% of Americans are actively seeking out more protein, up from 51% just 2 years prior. Once the domain of bodybuilders, protein has become a buzzword for everyone from perimenopausal women to TikTok wellness influencers. But with that surge in interest has come an equal uptick in marketing noise. In a sea of protein powders, puffs, popcorn, bars, and candy-like confections, tofu is one of the few protein sources that bridges the desire for both performance nutrition and culinary legitimacy. A cultural callback. Tofu's comeback isn't just nutritional, it's cultural. After years of being misunderstood in the West, called bland or boring by the uninitiated, the broader embrace of Asian cuisines has helped reposition tofu as the versatile, texturally rich ingredient it truly is. Events like the Northern California Soy and Tofu Festival, now in its 13th year, celebrate the ingredient in all its forms. Tofu has also benefited from recent innovation, but not the kind that sacrifices its clean profile. Flavored, marinated, and ready-to-cook varieties have made tofu more accessible to the tofu curious. Head to TikTok or Instagram to see versatile, easy-to-make tofu recipes linked here that spotlight its potential, from sauces and stir-fries to crackers, desserts, and more. Past is protein prologue. Industry experts are calling this a new era of popularity for tofu in the U.S., citing its affordability, innovation, and increased flexitarianism as major drivers. Demand for soy as a protein source in the U.S. is evolving as consumers embrace its sustainability, versatility, and nutritional benefits, Pam Smith, RDN and soy expert, said in an interview with Food Navigator USA. Smith added that the cost of fresh tofu gives it a key edge among budget-conscious shoppers. As households continue to mind grocery spend, the cost of fresh tofu remains 50% of the cost of meat alternatives, giving this whole food ingredient a significant advantage, Smith said. The protein category has also benefited from a subtle shift in how sustainability is discussed at the dinner table. While the flashier meatless options have drawn criticism for their carbon footprints and manufacturing complexities, tofu has quietly remained one of the most environmentally friendly protein sources available. When scientists like me advocate for healthy and environmentally friendly eating, it's often said we're sitting in our ivory towers promoting something financially out of reach for most people, Springman said. This study shows it's quite the opposite. These diets could be better for your bank balance as well as for your health and the planet. Retailers and restaurants are also seeing a shift. Walmart now carries nearly 200 tofu-based products, from the plain water-packed to dried and processed nuggets. Fine dining chefs are also giving tofu reverence, fermented, charred, brined, and infused with umami in ways that rival meat dishes. And in many Asian American households, it never left the menu in the first place. Ultimately, tofu's return says less about marketing cycles and more about consumer intuition. The pendulum swing away from processed and back to whole foods isn't nostalgia. It signals a better understanding of nutrition. In a food system dominated by overpromises, tofu doesn't need a rebrand. You just listened to The Tofu Era is Upon Us, How This Ancient Protein is Redefining Clean Eating, by the VegNews Editors at VegNews.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. I've done a ton of other episodes on tofu, on soy, on protein, on ultra-processed foods, on natural foods. Wherever you listen, use the search field and just put those terms in there and they'll come up. But if you're interested in learning more about tofu, how to cook it, how to incorporate more of it into your weekly meals, check out 757 and 758, Tofu, What It Really Is and How to Enjoy It, by Brigitte Gem at veganfamilykitchen.com, and I'll link that in the show notes for you as well. And we eat a lot of tofu. It is so delicious and so simple. I love to just pan fry it without any oil and use Date Lady's sweet chili sauce. It's whole food. It's so amazing. Or even just a bit of salt and pepper is so good. There are so many ways to do it: in big chunks, the whole block, or half of a block, covered in barbecue sauce and air fried so it's nice and crispy on the outside. So many ways to season it and air fry it or bake it in the oven or pan fry it. It's so versatile. And if you do a bunch of it, it's so quick as well, and then have it in the fridge to throw in bowls or just snack on. It's awesome. And then another way we enjoy it is, this is our recreational food, but every Friday night we have sesame tofu from our favorite Chinese restaurant, sesame tofu and mixed vegetables. I call it our recreational food because it's deep fried, but it is so delicious. And most Asian restaurants can substitute many of their dishes with tofu. And just in general, I think this is a great article to share among non-plant-based or non-vegan people to introduce them to tofu. It's targeted to those people who are concerned about the mainstream media talking points around nutrition. For the people who are concerned with ultra-processed foods, they stress that tofu is natural and clean. It's not like those plant-based meat alternatives, although we all know that the plant-based meat alternatives are healthier than the actual meat. But it also targets the people who are concerned with lack of protein. Even though there's not a protein deficiency problem in America, there's a fiber deficiency problem. And it's targeted towards the people who are concerned with getting back to our roots, back to the way people ate a long time ago. So the authors point out that tofu's comeback isn't just nutritional, it's cultural as well. It's been around for thousands of years. So this article is really well done, targeting some of the main talking points about nutrition in the mainstream media. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.